Hey everybody!
Hey!
Welcome to Mashoko, a platform where fellow Earthlings discuss all things life and we embrace the madness within. My name is Tino Mpunganyi and this is my co-host, Gladys Chibanda, aka Bubbly G! So anyways guys, this is the very first episode of the very first season. So this is our first time coming to your screens and we appreciate you logging in and just checking us out. So today our theme is exploring the topic of self-talk. What's that about, Nai Gladys? Happy
Connecting just before you want to sleep, don't forget, Tina, what did you do today? You know, it's like it's your thoughts that like keep track of the things that you're doing every day, and then Amaniru just before you want to sleep, and then it's like a recollection of everything, but it's a voice, and then it reminds you of all the faults that you have made. Especially on the faults, I guess it's really amplified because it reminds you of also the other things that people said about you that you're not cognizant of at that time. Or so just like
subconscious, sort of kicking in?
Yes. And it's like, oh, Gladys, but you remember that day when she said that. What do you think about it? Is it true? I guess the situation justifies why that person said this about you. And it's self-talk is basically how you relate with your inner self, like these narratives that you keep telling yourself about. I'm this, I'm this, and this, and this, and this, and then you find that some people have got like a very high sense of self, like superiority complex, because they have narratives that they fed into themselves and think that, I'm more important than them. So this feeding that you actually do to your mind. And then you start believing those stories. And then some feel less of a person. They feel they're not enough. Maybe because they've listened to someone and they've internalized that dialogue and then believed that that's them. So with self-talk, it's like a very dangerous thing. You know, you need to be very worried about it because whatever that you're telling yourself, you're listening.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, cool. So either way, you're the audience of what you're saying into your head. And if you're not very careful about it, it may contribute to your success or your demise. Or your demise, that's so true.
Okay. But are you sure about the part where you're saying it's so dangerous? Isn't it more of there's the issue of it's either it's very dangerous or it's such a great thing for you, because I'm thinking of the fact that you're positive and negative self-talk, So I'm sort of feeling the vibe you focus so much on the negative, yet I feel like, there's all the positive stuff. So already I'm beginning to get a vibe about yourself.
Yes, because I also I'm very hard on myself. So when I'm talking to myself, I'm just I'm attacking me. So I guess for people who have really paid so much attention to their inner voice, they're able to manipulate it and manipulate it in the right direction. It can actually help you achieve the things that you want to achieve. Just the moment when you start telling yourself that you are a failure and stop focusing on the amazing things that you've already done, it then means that you're allowing it to take charge. But the moment you start feeling like that, but just have this mental that exercise where you can actually start reflecting on, but in as much as I've not done this right, but I've also done this and that really well, so it doesn't justify me being a failure.
Okay, cool. I'm even thinking of Nyaguti, so in terms of positive self-talk, my affirmations, those are definitely tools that you can use to help yourself to sort of boost your confidence and make sure you're in the right frame of mind. When I say right, I mean the positive frame of mind. And actually, I was having a conversation with someone earlier today, funny enough, and we're talking about we focus so much on the negative in our lives. And prior to this example, I remember, I think it was in youth church or something, right? And a piece of clean bond paper. Then what the pastor did was he then drew one small black dot under Tiga. And when you ask everybody, what do you see? When you're
showing the paper around, everybody sees the black dot on the white piece of paper, you know, but there's the rest of the piece of paper which is so white. Clean, it's so white, you know, and like, unfortunately, I don't know, maybe it's the way that we're wired or something, but like there's like this whole perfectionism, you know, like we're always trying to just get things right because we are worried, you know, we're so anxious. So I don't know, but I think it's a big issue. Yeah, self-talk. Lately, I've been using like my affirmations to just get me like in the right frame of mind. So we've got an exercise today that we're like, let's do a little something to just figure out how our self-talk is like.
So for me, I think for a reasonable amount of years, I used journaling to talk to myself, like reflect on the things that are happening in my life. But there is something that I then bound onto the internet, which is writing a letter to yourself, which is something that I've never really done because I am just observing situations and writing them out. And then if I'm grateful about something, I'm like, oh, I'm so grateful about this. I'm so grateful about this. But not talking to myself. It's like I'm here, and then the notebook is here, and then I'm just writing about stuff that's happening. But actually talking to myself in the process, it's something that I haven't been doing. And then also learning that journaling is also one of the most powerful things, especially writing to yourself, just like at a point of reflection and just to see what has been happening, just like taking stock, I'm doing inventory on my life.
What have I been doing? Have I gotten to where I wanted to be, etc., etc.
And then also, as a writer on my own, I know that I do not, like my writing has been on, it's very emotionally detached. So I never used to use my emotions during my writing. So it also then reflected on me as well. So with this exercise that we're doing of writing a letter to ourselves, I wrote myself a letter. But when I started writing it,
what happened?
I was writing, it did, but also then I sort of then changed how I was writing a letter to myself because I was looking at all the things that I haven't done wrong and then how harshly I speak to myself. So I sort of changed things, and I've got my letter. Are you ready to listen to it?
I hope you guys are ready. I hope you guys are ready for this.
So, my letter, it's directed to me. Dear Gladys, I want to say that I love you and appreciate you. I know I don't say it enough for you to hear it. Oh my God. I know I don't say it enough to hear it. But honestly, I do love the person you are. Not that because you've done something, but just because you are Gladys. And I would like to say I'm also very proud of you for everything that you've done and you've achieved. I've watched you achieve a lot of things at a very young age and managed to tackle very complex problems. And I've also seen you break down, but you still could afford to giggle about it. I've seen you heartbroken, but somehow find your way back. I've seen you fall into the narrative, yekutiwa nwachati if things fall apart. But I've seen you find your way back towards loving yourself and showing up for yourself and showing up for the dreams that you have. And all I could say right now is I'm really proud of you, Gladys. And I also want to apologize for the times that I made you feel unworthy or undeserving, and the times that I carried more loads than I shouldn't have. And also when I took more work that I was not supposed to take because you felt like you were supposed to put more than what others were putting in. I want to apologize for putting you in situations that didn't allow you to flourish and situations that reduced your sense of worth. I want to apologize for every time I made you cry because I reminded you of all the mistakes you made. And I would like to say from today onwards, I'd love to treat you better, and I would like to take care of your needs and give you rest when you're supposed to. Yours faithfully, Tino Gladys.
Wow. Wow. I don't know if you guys felt what we're feeling in this room right now, but yeah, the atmosphere has kind of changed for me now. Now I don't know if my letter, now I feel like, oh my goodness, what am I telling myself, like, or like, do I need to go back and be like, I think we'll get a script here, let's rewrite something, Wow.
No.
Wow. Wow. Okay. When you wrote that, like how were the emotions?
So when I wrote that, I was having a very, quite an emotional day, because I tend to put myself up a lot, especially if I've made a mistake. But like you said, I'm only seeing a black dot in a huge piece of paper, and that is also clean.
Yeah.
So that tendency of magnifying small little things that you have not done right, and then also having the society to look at you and just seeing that dot and just outruling everything that you have done and say, oh look, she's done this, oh my gosh, she's so horrible. And it's not an easy journey to go through emotionally, because that voice takes in what everybody is saying, and then
so it's like sort of like all that stuff deposits.
Yes, and then it then starts reminding you and says, but Gladys, do you know kuti paipaega? You could have done this,
like
but
monster.
You didn't. But you're
monster,
so horrible,
and
like probably you're lazy. You could have managed the situation like this, but already it's done, and there's nothing else that I can do about it. But I've done all these other great things. Yes, so it was really like a very powerful reflection on my part. And also, I've also been very people-pleasing, and so that I would take in more than I can actually handle. I could give someone things that I don't have and that I'm really thinking I need, but someone, because they come and say, oh, I need it, they make me feel like they needed more than I needed, but I equally needed the same way that they needed. And I just find myself like, okay, no, just take it, because I don't feel like I deserve it enough, you know? So those are the things that I was reflecting on. And this inner critics, I would critique myself. Sometimes it's so hard for me to accept compliment. Gladys, you've done a great job. I'm like, but really? What are you even saying? No, it's a great job. Thank you. It's a great job. It's a great job, period. Not that I have to question why you said it's a great job. Do you have an ulterior motive? What is your intention in all this? So I just needed to remind myself that I'm doing great.
You're doing great.
Yes, and I'm enough, and I'm all these things: brave, courageous, confident, and also I'm a great businesswoman. Yes, and despite the so many mistakes that I make, I'm still Gladys, and I'm still lovable. I'm still enough, and I'm still deserving of every good thing that's happening. Yes.
It makes me think of there's this Hansi Chico statement in the help. Hansi, you was kind, you was gorgeous, you was important, you was beautiful. I can't quite remember the actual words, but those are powerful things to say to yourself. So yeah.
Yes, let's move to your letter.
Guys, amen. Because after hearing Glady, I'm like, yo, so backstory. I talk too much. I like always explaining stuff. The backstory is I was sitting in the bus on the way to work a week ago, right? When I finally went oh snap, it's time to write this thing. Yeah. And what basically happened was I was busy rehearsing in my mind, that self-talk stuff. I was rehearsing in my mind. Okay, so I'll make this tamba sound like this, that, so I can motivate the people, and it could be a movement. But then once I actually typing, I had to calm down, humble myself, and just be real and write exactly how I was feeling, And what I realized was, when I journal, there's always, I always speak like in first person, I. But when we're talking about the whole self-talk thing and it being a conversation, I was like, it's about taking yourself, sitting down, and then taking your other self, sitting that other self down. And, so for the first time I spoke in, is it called second person? When you say you? Second person narrative. So this one says you, because I never do that. I always like, I was like, what's going to happen if I say it that way? What's going to happen? So anyways, this is my letter to myself. Hey Tino, what's up, mate? I know you haven't done this in a while. Not even sure if you've ever actually written a letter to yourself. Does journaling count? Probably. I don't know how this works. So anyways, adulting is crazy, huh? I'm sure you shared a good chunk of that in your Adulting Anonymous series. But honestly though, adulting is kind of effed up. I don't want to be negative, when I started this off, but I'm realizing now that I probably have a lot to complain about. Whether or not I should rant is another story, but there is enough to be crying about. I want to say though, you're doing pretty well, my guy. You've come this far, haven't you? You're okay, mate. Remember what Link said to you the other time? There's no point in trying to carry things while you're at your weakest. Just be patient with yourself. That was some sage wisdom right there. You should put on a poster or something. Could make some good money from that. Anyways, I'm ranting. I know. I love you, bruv. Even if I don't show it or know it sometimes. I really do love you. And I'll do the most for your happiness. It's just that at times it seems like happiness is a pipe dream. I know they say you make your own happiness, but I get lazy sometimes and just want shit to work out. I think you'll be fine. But one thing I'm learning lately is that you need to keep yourself accountable, my guy. To you first and everyone else next. If you can't respect yourself and your dreams, who the hell will? It's on you, mate. But don't take yourself too seriously. God does come through for you, and you know it. I was talking to God earlier about the issue of misplaced trust. How at times I've put my faith in horses and chariots, and forgotten that I should put all my trust in Him. So fam, relax. Not too much, of course, but stop worrying so much. Whatever is in your control is in your control. Do something about it. Whatever isn't, isn't. I hope to do this with you some more. It could be fun. With love. You. Or is it me?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like how you have got like a chilled relationship with yourself. It's like, oh, yo, bruh, sort of. That's like a really cool relationship you have with yourself.
It's taken a while to get here. It's taken some years, And I think over the past 5 years is when I've been really aware of my mental health and the state of it. So definitely it's taken a while for me to be able to speak like this to myself and even with the people around me. And we mentioned something about self-talk, Kuti. The way that you talk to yourself and is going to help you with the relationships that you have around you. So that inner relationship is what needs to be fixed first before you go out there and start having relationships with other people, whether it's in business, whether it's love, whether it's family, or whatever it is, the way that you relate to other people. For me, the way that I see it, it depends on how you're talking to yourself.
So I think you just reminded me about something that also should have mentioned in my letter was the harshness that I have on myself. I tend to transfer it to other people.
Oh, snap.
Because I've got all these grand ideas and ideologies about how things should be done, and I'm very idealistic. So if I don't reach that level of idealness, then I have failed myself. And if a person does not reach that thing that I've said, then they may not be able to match.
Oh wow! So you're putting everybody at a benchmark. You put iwewe. So you're like, if you're not here,
shaman. But also, I've also tried to learn to just like differentiate people's journeys, because you know your journey and my journey, they're different, and maybe I'm projecting perfection on you, maybe I'm too ambitious to be around you. So if I say to you, oh my goodness, like I want to be in Forbes 30 under 30, but there are people who are just cool with making money enough to spend for their family. I want more. I want to be a millionaire. I want to do all sorts of things. So it's very, you know, it's different from a person to person. So I then started like transferring all those ideas that I have about life. Oh, you need to do this, you need to, but just me, it's not them. So that relationship that I have with myself, if I fail, then I then transfer it to other people when they also don't meet my standards.
Yeah, but the truth is in life we project a lot. I don't know about you guys, but I know, Guti, so many times in conversations I end up projecting onto other people, you know. And I think, I don't know, like people will always like, oh, you shouldn't project stuff. But I feel like we're always going to have a situation where I will speak from my level of experience and my level of relatability. Yes. You know, so the way that I'm able to relate with your story is how I'm going to speak, you know. So I definitely get that, you know, the projecting issue. And hey, but also pinzano busy,
but I also love the fact that you told yourself that you need to respect yourself. Yeah. Because that sense of self-respect validates your worth. Yeah. And then it means that if a person comes to you projecting or saying things that you're, or wanting you to do things that are out of your value system, you've got enough self-respect to say, you know, look, as much as I may need the money, I'm not going to take it because it contradicts with myself. And then also you don't get yourself in situations where you start questioning, why, how did you arrive here? Yes, I really love that. And then also growing pains, just realizing that the person that I actually trusted, they're not really worthy of the trust that I've given them. Sometimes we believe that there's good in everybody. You know, sometimes even people tell you, this person you're hanging out with, they're going to, and then you're just like, no, I've seen their good part. You know, I'm trying to give them a chance, but then it then hits you in a different way, and it's so painful and very heartbreaking just to like say, okay, fine, I really trusted this person, but the way they have treated me, I just don't know how to unforgive or undo the act. It's heartbreaks are real. It's not for only from relationships, but just like the misplaced trust. And also the relationship with God. I think faith in God and just allowing Him to take charge is one of the most important things that we overlook. Because I like to be in control. I like to be in control of my situations. Like I remember this other time.
You take the wheel.
Yes, I said that, you know, I needed to have more than enough money for transport so that I don't have to wake up at a time that someone wants me to wake up because they have to ferry me to work. That's how much I want to be in control. Like, so when it's very difficult to then let go and let God in because I'm trying to be a superwoman around everything. So I guess it's a very powerful point that you raised about having trust in God, respecting yourself, and just like realizing that you can also trust people that are not worthy to be trusted.
Wow. So guys, to be honest, like there's so much to unpack when it comes to this topic and this theme. But you know what? We're going to have so many more episodes, so many installments. We're going to allow you guys to be able like to get involved, you know, like getting involved in the comments sections, etc., being able, you know, like to tell us what you guys think. And, you know, we can continue to build this conversation because honestly, like there's a lot to unpack. We could be here for hours, to be honest. But for now, I think we gotta go. I think we gotta go. We've got stuff to do. You already got your face beat and everything. You're looking good. So I'm thinking maybe
I want to thank me. I want to thank me for being awesome. And okay, thanks Tino for sharing yourself with us. And I hope this was beneficial to you all. Yeah. If you like our podcast, please subscribe to our channel, like, share, do everything.
All the things.
Comment,
all those reactions and the engagement.
And we want it. And so just like let us know your thoughts on self-talk. And we hope that you join us next time on our next episode. What will be our next episode?
We're talking about finding balance, you know?
Wow, yeah.
It's related, you know, like everything is going to be interconnected. So, yeah.
So, yeah, next week, the same time, from me and Tino. Okay, I am Gladys Chibanda, Miss Bubbly G, and Tino.
Alrighty guys, so thank you so much. And just as a reminder, this episode is brought to you by Inspired Faces of Africa, Shades Beauty, Capture, Crafted Ink, Image Cube, and Ripped Canvas. To find out more about these guys, please check in the description below and you'll find all the links to their work and see what they're up to, what services they provide and how they can help you in your life, in your business, whatever it is that you're working on. And of course, to continue to find out updates and stuff about us, check us out on mashoko.live. That is the link. So till next time,
bye.
And please don't forget
to be kind to yourself.
Be kind to yourself.
Yeah, kindness.
Peace.
Bye.